again, everybody. It's Todd Strouch, the Horror Nerd, here at Pennsylvania HorrorCon at Allentown, Pennsylvania. I am having a blast today, hanging out at the convention, and it's probably about to get a lot worse because I am sitting here with actor, producer, director Mike Leavey. Mike, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. Finally, you're interviewing me, and I don't have to crash your interviews.
Right, and it's all by yourself. Usually,
right.
It's
a group of people.
10
They
guys.
take the spotlight.
Exactly. So now you're here all by yourself. So, dude, first of all, I truly mean this, we joke around a lot, but congratulations on all the success with the Fuzz on the Lens stuff, Stream, the Terrifier movies. As an indie filmmaker myself, a rising tide rises all ships, right? So the fact, studios and people are seeing that indie filmmaking is important and it's a force. So congratulations on all of that.
I appreciate that. Everybody who works on any of the films we do, everybody works hard, and we're all fans first and foremost. So to be doing this at any capacity is a blessing.
Exactly. So let's talk about, what made you decide to revisit?
Let's talk about
Here we go. Here we
What
go.
made you decide to use this picture of me? What is it? What, did you use AI? Or did you have your kid do it?
You put in ChatGPT, best photo, Mark Holton, go.
Well, there's only one left, so it must be moving. Huh?
That's he's.
God. See, look what happens.
Look, I crash an interview. He crashes an interview. I love Mark.
So Mike, tell me, what inspired you to revisit the Leprechaun franchise?
So, Leprechaun, it was a huge deal for me growing up as a kid, and there's only a few horror films that really, got me going, and Leprechaun was really one of the first ones, and from Leprechaun, it kind of spiraled into Halloween 1978, Nightmare on Elm Street, obviously, Freddy Krueger, Robert Englund, and Stephen King's hit, Tim Curry, and those were that was it. Those were my horror movies growing up, and then I got into kind of the kid stuff, Goosebumps, Are You Afraid of the Dark, but that Halloween Town, but that was the real deal horror was all spawned from Leprechaun. And I used to collect leprechauns as kids. As a kid, I used to collect leprechauns, like different little Irish figures and stuff. I used to go to a store, and I was so fascinated by leprechauns. And it shaped me in who I am. It got me into horror. So, when I found out that Lionsgate was looking to do another movie, and Felipe Vargas, who's a great director, decided to vacate the project because he had a couple other things that he wanted to do. And I don't really know what happened, but I met him. I was fully supportive of it. He's a big fan of Terrifier, big supporter of what we do. I met with him and I said, look, any which way that you, if you want, need support, I'm there. I'd love to be a part of this. And we had a few conversations, and then for whatever reasons, he ended up vacating the project. And when I found out that they were looking for a director and a film crew, filmmakers to do it, I said, you know what, why don't I throw my hat in the ring finally and, showcase that I could do a Leprechaun movie because it means so much to me. And so because of my wife, she kind of inspired me to say, hey, why don't you just, instead of telling them, show them, right? Make something. So I called my buddy Mark Holton up, who we just saw, and my other buddy Lyndon Porco, who portrayed Leprechaun in the most recent Leprechaun Returns movie. And I said, let's do something that showcases the tone. I didn't necessarily want to give away our ideas of what we think this franchise can go, but I said at least tonally we can really show the world what we can do. Get horror fans that are fans of the original to be excited, but also bring in a much wider, more modern horror fan base.
I love it. Yeah, I dig the Leprechaun movies myself. All of that stuff.
They're fun.
They are, man. They are.
You need to know what it is. It's horror comedy. Know what you are, and go for it.
Bingo. And I love a good horror comedy. You know what I mean? I wish there were more of them, making the rounds. I was just talking to some, other people today. I think there's a real renaissance for horror right now. Studios, not just like Terrifier, but Weapons, Together.
Great movie.
Oh,
great movie. I was just talking to Damien. I just saw it with a couple of our crew. My brother Jason, George Stuber from Terrifier, Marcus Labine. We saw it first, and then Damien Leone, Terrifier director, just saw it, and he loved it. We all loved it. What a great, fun, a new way way to tell the old witch tale, right? And
Right.
how creepy, but how good, right? How cool. Great tone, great vibe.
And I think part of the problem is too many horror fans today are that generation, like the MTV edit, like the quick. They can't handle
Slow burn.
like a slow
I know.
burn.
Yeah, that's
whereas
I
I can,
know.
like movies like The Witch. You know, nothing happens, and then, you know, and it's just this slow dread. You know, and to me, that's what Weapons is.
A
It's
Weapon.
like,
I had a great time. Yeah, it
something
was.
bad is gonna happen,
And it builds that tension, and you sit there and you're like, and there was a lot of nods to anybody who knows horror, like even seeing Aunt Gladys, right? And I don't want to give anything away, but her in the wood shot waving. I mean, that's Tim Curry, Pennywise, Stephen King's It, 1990, whatever it was, miniseries. That is reminiscent, and you know, anybody who knows horror knows that was a nod right
Sure,
there,
of course.
and you can see it. And there were so many great odes to horror that we knew growing up that are in that movie. And you can see that the people that made Weapons love horror.
Yep.
And that's what I'm. That's what I'm about. That's what Damien Leone's about. And anybody that we work with, it's about people who appreciate it. We're lucky as fans. I said it before. We're lucky as fans to be able to make these movies, and that's what I'm excited about.
Dude, I hear you, right? Like, even like I said at the beginning of the interview, being an indie filmmaker myself, I just love it, you know, when we get to play make-believe, you know. And now, like, studios are catching on. Like, horror can be profitable, you know. Weapons on a $20-something million budget is almost at the $100 million mark, you know.
You know what's crazy, and I hate to say it because it's not for us to say, but I have to say it because I'm super proud of it. Like, I'm very proud of it. There was an article, I believe it was iHorror, one of those outlets said, you know, Fuzz in the Lens Productions is doing things, obviously along with Terrifier, Damien Leone, and Stream, and Leprechaun, whatever. They're doing things that hasn't been this exciting in the horror genre since the 80s. And to hear that, again, that's not up to me to say. That's other people saying it. But I can't help but, and I know Damien's ear to ear, like,
Yep.
I mean, and he's ushering this all in, right? And we're all a part of the ride. But to be a part of that means so much because we're all super fans growing up and saying, if we can just be a snippet in what this is, you know what I mean? And now it's inspired us, and now we're doing it and inspiring other people. That means the world. That's something I'm super proud of. For somebody to say that this is the most exciting time since the 80s, like, wow.
Right?
I mean, that is like, I can't even fathom people are even thinking that. So for me, again, honored to even hear that, and I'm super proud of that. That's why I'm even bringing it up.
Dude, and you have every right to bring it up, you know, and to be a part of it. The fact that I even know you guys, right?
Stop. I was a fan of you before you even knew who the hell I was. In fact, I'm watching all your stuff on YouTube and on the internet and stuff. And when I saw you when I crashed your first interview, since
great.
this is what we do, I was just doing it because I'm saying I'm freaking a huge fan of Todd's. I just want to be on his channel. I gotta go in because he ain't gonna find me. I'm in. So
No,
dude, that's
that
what it is.
That means the world. Like, so my dad, my dad's slowing down a little bit now, but he used to run camera and stuff a lot for me. And at one point, he paid what I felt was a very high compliment. He said, you know, I had the whole horror thing wrong. He's like, I never was into horror movies. I didn't get it. He's like, but son, you know a lot of really cool people. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, you see, we're just into a certain.
I'll tell you that the horror, all of us, as horror fans, the horror community, it's such a great community to be a part of. It really is. And I tell you, I don't see any other fan base. And look, I'm into comedies. I'm into making movies, right? But obviously horror is a huge love. You could see it. We're smiling ear to ear talking about it. And we could sit here off camera and talk about any horror film, like, you know what I mean, and really get into it. But there's no other fan base that gets that much into it. Maybe the comic book, Comic-Con, whatever you want to call it, superhero.
Yeah.
Maybe. But they're not as nitpicky and as, like, you know, theorizing like we do with horror movies. Well, you know, the backstory here. Like, it is such a cool community to be a part of. I'm so honored to be a part of it. I'm so honored to be making horror films. And like I said, I love comedies. I mean, everybody, right? We all love it. But there's something special about a horror film and the horror people and the horror community and these conventions that it's like, I don't know. It's just mind-boggling. It's a blessing. It's amazing to be a part of, and I'm so honored.
I agree. Mike, why do you think people like horror movies? What is it about the horror genre?
You know, I think it's exciting, number one, because you can kind of get to the edge without there being a real threat, and there's kind of an exhilarating feeling like the roller coasters and things. People enjoy, like we enjoy laughing, we enjoy being scared. It's the two ends of the spectrum. That's why I think I love both genres. I think that's a big part of it. But then I also feel that horror creates these icons, these very amazing.
Trouble,
oh no!
I
was gonna say these iconic-looking characters. Don't let the audience.
Trouble.
Don't let the audience kind of not know who's coming through.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I always want to just come through and say, you're amazing.
Aw, you are. You are.
Felissa Rose, Stream, Sleepaway Camp, Terrifier 2. You know, I think it's the characters. Obviously, it's the exhilarating. The light went out. It's okay. We lost. It's all right. Fine. I look better probably in the dimmer light.
It's all right.
I think there's
we'll fix it in post.
We'll fix it in post. I think there's a lot there with why people love horror movies, but it starts with the character, right? It starts with kind of tempting death, tempting fate, tempting the scare, like the roller coasters and all those things. And there's many other factors, but I think that's a big reason why we all love horror, because it's safe to go that way and then pull back.
And it's just a movie,
it's
right?
just
at
a
the
movie.
end of the day.
The end of the day, yeah.
So, awesome. Mike, man, thanks so much for a few minutes of your time.
I appreciate you. There's no one else here to talk, so no one will yell at me. I don't have to crash an interview. You finally brought me in one-on-one.
Absolutely. They're always complaining that I don't sit with them. And
I forced this interview
gone,
actually here.
Right?
Hold on. I
They're
got a couple of bucks here.
So
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right. and again, man, I wish you much success with all the stuff that you're doing. I'm glad I got to know you guys, and I get to follow.
We appreciate your support more than you know.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mike Leavey, everybody here at Pennsylvania Horror Con in Allentown, Pennsylvania. I'm the horror nerd, Todd Staruch, signing off. We'll see all of you in the next interview.